Howdy, y'all. Welcome to the Bad News Radio podcast number. Who knows? It's been an interesting week. I could say that for sure. Make sure everything's all good here. Um, last night I have a job here in Austin, Texas that puts me in immediate touch with the public constantly. I'm a pedicab driver. It's a disgusting profession filled with cockroach people and bottom feeders, but also people who have found a way to kind of make a living for themselves on the edges of society. When I first started, I thought that was really fucking cool. All these kind of unique characters and everybody's doing their own thing. Everybody just doesn't quite fit into the mold of ordinary life, I guess you could say. But the problem with that is that along with that, it's a lot of people who aren't necessarily choosing that for some series of circumstances that allows them to live a kind of free lifestyle because, we do whatever the fuck we want. We don't have a schedule. We really don't have a boss. We just rent the goddamn bikes. There's no governing authority aside from traffic laws and the people who give us the permits. So it's a lifestyle that is certainly allows you to take advantage of a lot of free time, a lot of independence, but it's also a lifestyle that you can get kind of sucked into because you have absolutely nothing else to offer and nothing going on and no social skills, and you're just completely insulated and isolated in your little world of pirate guy on the corner. You know, a lot of these people, they blend into the we work out next to a bunch of bars and stuff. Everybody's drunk the whole time. And if you're boisterous and if you're good at it and if you're fun, you can stick out enough to kind of, lure people over to you, talk to you. They want to get on the bike. But you can also do this thing where, what was it, in that second Pirates of the Caribbean movie or the third one when Will Turner, when Will Turner's dad, he gets discovered on Davy Jones's ship, and he's just a barnacle in the wall that you would just miss. Um, that's kind of what these people turn into. They just become ornaments that are no more noticeable than the street or the homeless people that line 6th Street in Austin, Texas. But that's what I do. I don't know which category I actually fall into now that I think about it. I'd like to think that I'm choosing it for lifestyle reasons, but I got this pen now. But I could just be one of those disgusting people who will just eventually fade away or fall into an open sewer, and nobody would fall off the bike into an open sewer and nobody will ever notice or think twice about it. Or I might be, some big things might be in the making, and this might be just a part of my colored story. Because really, I only have to work a couple days a week, couple hours. It's more than that. But yeah, in the winter time or when the seasons get bad, I'll get another job here and there. And showing up on a schedule at these fucking plebe jobs just absolutely sucks a bag of ass. I don't want to do it. I don't like listening to people because I'm so independent otherwise. I have this attitude that I am the equal of the people that I'm working for and that there should be some kind of mutual respect between us. Obviously, that has its limits in the real world. So, either way, the job is kind of interesting. You see some things here and there, some things cross your path. It's not as interesting as it might seem. After a while, it's a little fucking repetitive, just dealing with drunk people night after night. There'll come a time where I'll tell some of the stories, but I've got one that happened to me last night. Actually, I've been trying this thing on people where I yell. I'll be like, "Hey, you motherfuckers want to ride?" I'll be like that, and it's honestly works really well. A lot of people like it. I don't know why. I can kind of see some of the reasons why, but people really react to it all across the spectrum of people. Business people in town for some god awful convention where they're gonna, get drunk and have sex with a prostitute in their hotel room, or people who are here for, they're visiting friends or a couple who are taking a weekend away. Everybody seems to love when when I call them motherfuckers, I don't know why people like it, but they do. And I'll be, hey, you motherfuckers want to ride? I did that to these two guys, two hefty gentlemen on the corner. Last night was the opening Texas game. It was the first week that all the students here from UT were back, and it was just fucking absolutely popping last night. So I was on a corner. I'm sunburned, as you can see, because I spent the whole goddamn day outside. And hey, you motherfuckers want to ride? These two fat guys. One of them gets their attention immediately. He goes, "Fuck yeah, we want to ride." Mexican guy. And so I call him over. Oh, we're trying to go over here. How much? $30. Oh, fuck that, man. You got to do it for fucking 25. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll do it for 25. Hey, man, what if I just fucking take your bike and fucking, yeah, okay. You're a drunk asshole. Just fucking get on and fucking pay me. So they wanted to go to this place. I take them over there. And as I'm going, this guy there's one Mexican dude and one white dude. The Mexican dude just starts fucking yelling at everybody. Hey, fuck you. Hey, fuck you, bitch. Hey, fuck off, fucking fuck you. So I'm like, hey, trying to kind of break the tension a little bit because this guy's just going nuts and his friend is just giggling. Where are you guys from? Oh, I'm from San Antonio. Disgusting, by the way. If you're from San Antonio, get out. If you're thinking about moving there, why? Literally why? Um, the other guy, oh, I'm from California. Oh, cool. I'm from California. Where at? LA. Oh, I'm not from LA, but certain people I say certain reference cities to because I'm from a smaller place there. And I said, oh, yeah, I'm from Whittier. And he goes, oh, yeah, I fucking killed people there. And I was like, oh, really? Great. And his buddy goes, hey, man, he's a Sureño, Southern California Mexican gangster. And I go, my ears are kind of perked up. I don't know. I can't tell if they're kidding or if they're being kind of cheeky or what. But I go, oh yeah, yeah. He's for real. He kills people. Oh really? Okay, cool. Yeah, man, I fucking kill people out there. I fucking kill people. I was so fun. The guy goes, no, for real, man. We met. He was my cellie. He was my cellie. He used to protect me in jail. So I drove up. I picked him up from some fucking shithole, and I drove him up here to check out Austin. So we're driving along a relatively abandoned, kind of nice shops part of Austin. And this guy's yelling at people on the side of the road. Hey, fuck you. I'll fucking kill you. Just like women walking along. It wasn't that late. The city was still somewhat, it wasn't just dingy, dark Austin, but just these regular women waitresses. Hey, I'll fucking kill you. And we're driving. He goes, hey, we should fucking kill this guy. Talking about me. We should fucking kill him. And I'm like, At this point, I realize either this guy I'm not going to test this. I'm not going to test any of these theories on this 300-pound drunk asshole sitting behind me. But I'm wondering, is this guy the real deal? Is he really a killer? I would be willing to bet that no matter what, and I guess you could say it puts him in that category of being a killer or at least a wanted to kill somebody killer. This guy was such a piece of shit. He's probably been in a car with somebody who's like, he's probably shot at somebody out there, some other gaggle of dirtbags that this guy's encountered in his life. I can believe that. Has he hit anybody? I don't know. But the whole time, you get into a situation like that where somebody literally says, hey, let's fucking kill this. I'm going through all these things, all these threat assessments in my mind. Like, does this guy seem, because I've been around not been around, but I've encountered a lot of Cholos. There's a lot of Cholos where I went to high school, just a lot of types of hard people in California. One of the reasons why I hate it is that everybody, because their cousin kind of hangs out with bad people, everybody likes to pretend like they're on that bullshit, even though they're not. And everybody's all kind of posturing all the time in California. It's gay and weird. But I've been around enough of these people, and some of these people are straight up fucking schizo behind their eyes. They have this like kind of methy, kind of like you don't know what they're going to do next kind of vibe. But even along with that, a lot of them are like kind of lucid with they're kind of up at the front of their personality. And even though this guy was fat, I'm not saying it's because he's fat, but he had that thing that, when a really fat person, like you see like a fly lands on their like elbow, and you go, do they feel that? Like, do they have like do the neurons that like do those get spread out? Does it bother them less because there's more of them? So there's less. They're less itchy because there's just so much more of them. Or or you ever run into some like old, like kind of fat, like Samoan guy, and he's just kind of there's just kind of one thing going on at a time, you know? That like it'd be like if that fat fly analogy was like his personality. Like he couldn't really there wasn't a lot of I don't think it's dumbness. It's just there wasn't a whole lot going on. Or like the fat had like gotten into his brain. You're around a fat person and watching them get up and get a glass of water and the whole thing is a chore. Everybody's on eggshells until a fat person is resettled into whatever it is that they're doing. It was kind of like that, but with on the outside of his personality, like the fat had seeped into his brain and just kind of made him be a little underwatery. So, and they were obviously fucking around. And the other thing was, if this guy's not a killer, then he's just trying to impress this retard who was his fucking cellmate. And this cellmate is such a loser that he thinks some guy who, I guess makes up that he kills people is fucking fucking cool and shit. So it's like, we should fucking kill this guy. So in my mind, I'm like, I can't just, nothing is going on to the point where I need to run off of this bike, and just they're not just holding a gun to my head. They're kind of just fucking around being dickheads. And then I was in this situation. I just had to do it. So I dropped them off. This guy, he's just, the other guy, the kind of more regular dude is like, oh, my buddy's been intimidating people this whole trip. He's like a for real criminal, bro. But he's not, I don't blame him, but he's not trying to stop the guy or even trying to kind of like rein him in a little bit. It's just this like, look at this guy threatening to kill and rob people. Just literally, they should harvest those people's, or at least that both of them really, their organs should be harvested and donated to people more deserving. The liver might be a little bit fatty, like some foie gras, but just, I wouldn't necessarily wish for a world where there wasn't such delinquency and scumbaggery, just because I guess it keeps things interesting from my kind of literary narrativizing mind. But really, that's just kind of a bougie instinct. The world really would be better if all those people were, swallowed whole by the earth or something like that. But the ride was over. I took their payment. This fat fuck comes up to me and starts like not trying to fight me like aggressively, but just doing this shit, just pushing it, just fucking pushing his big fat, hey man, fucking drunk, hitting me on the back, like, oh fuck it, we should just fucking run away from this guy. Okay, yeah, they paid me the $25. Good luck to you. You're gonna be dead soon. And maybe not. Maybe this guy can turn it around, and I'm just a bad guy for saying all these stuff. I think of course, everybody deserves redemption. But I think that guy is pretty far away from that part in his story. And as of right now, he's like a rogue cancer cell, just pinballing around society, waiting to fuck somebody's day up, driving drunk or fucking killing somebody's son in some stupid, just sad and pathetic and annoying, but overall somewhat interesting. And then as he's taking the payment, he goes, we should fucking choke this guy out, And I'm like, I've been doing some shit, I do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, do a little bit of martial arts training. Not that I want to fucking test my anything against any 300-pound fat man, because for all the advantages I have against that guy's got one fucking huge one that he's 300 pounds, and I weigh less than that, and there's nothing I can do about that. But either way, he's saying, and I realized, and it's not the first time I've realized this, but it's a good reminder that all of the illusions of security and safety, because Where I finally dropped them off at was outside of a pretty nice hotel. There were people around, and obviously that all of those all that social minutia does have a pretty significant effect on people's behavior. But what you got to understand about people who wind up in fucking jail and then people who wind up hanging out with their cellmates after they get out of jail, I just realized that. Think about how much of a profound fucking loser you have to be like, you know what? I'm free. I'm going to go pick up my ex cellmate and we're going to go cause problems in Austin, Texas. But either way, the people like that, although they are somewhat influenced by different environments and stuff, the difference between somebody having an ability to fight or defend themselves and somebody who's truly just a violent, just a dick, a cancer, is just a willingness. It's a willingness and maybe some personality disposition that, or some set of circumstances in their life, whatever the fuck it is. Like somebody who really has bad intentions doesn't care if there's bystanders or witnesses or police. They do not think in terms of even medium term consequences, let alone long term consequences. It's just the here and now. I don't know who needed to hear that. Whoever the fuck is going to watch this, if anybody ever fucking watches this, but just realize that if you go fucking kickbox or do jujitsu, even if you compete and you do, like, it's just so fucking different. Somebody's just gonna get the jump on you. People are willing. That's a whole other fun, limitless discussion of like what works in the street and whatnot. And I have no idea because I've never been in a street fight. But my instinct is to bet against myself in general because it's sitting there and agreeing to have a similar stance and to do kickboxing or to do jujitsu or to, there's no agreements. Somebody's just gonna fuck that guy. The most likely thing that probably would have happened if that guy was more fucked up or if his homie was fucking egging him on more. Oh God, do I look fat? No, just kidding. If his homie was like egging him on more and shit, what maybe like just this is just out of my ass I'm pulling this, but maybe if that guy was a little bit more fucked up and his friend was a little bit less of a dopey go along with it, look at how dangerous this guy's a real criminal. If his friend was more like him and then, hey man, fucking let's fucking yeah, bah, while I'm riding or something, just one of those nice straight arm ghetto fucking blindsiding hooks to my head just because it's funny to fucking knock out some square dork in Austin. Some fucking dorky fucking. That could have happened. But it didn't. And those people, I'm sure, will go on to live long and prosperous lives. And so why? So that's just perfect. But the one thing that I have been doing, and I don't know why I haven't looked at it like this for a long time, I've had most of my jobs have been more or less sales. That's a little bit of a philosophical way of putting it because I haven't actually I've had like one or two actual sales jobs, but a lot of it's restaurants, fancy restaurants. And then this job, I've actually done this type of thing in several different ways for quite a number of years now. And I've gotten good at it. I've always been able to talk, obviously. But lately I've been looking at the whole job as the same way that I look at training martial arts. It's just I'm out here for an extended period of time. There's literally a limitless amount of strangers with all different circumstances. I have the handicap and the crutch. It's a good thing and a bad thing of this purpose where it's like, hey, I'm talking to you because I'm trying to sell something to you, but really it's the most kind of raw butt naked kind of sales that you could possibly be doing because it's just a fucking bike. I'm just talking to you. You're just drunk or doing whatever. You're trying to have a nice night with your lady or whatever it is. And I've been looking at this whole thing lately as a way to practice my social skills, as a way to practice my sales skills, as a way to improve my just personal sense of confidence, my ability to speak, my ability to think quickly, because it's easy enough to do that stuff around your friends, but isn't the true test of your, personality abilities, at least to a certain extent, what you can get from it? Because I've always had a pretty high opinion of the way that I communicate with people. And then I recorded this first fucking podcast, and I'm um uh uh and even now I'm trying very, very, very hard to not do that because it sounds like absolute shit. I wouldn't want to listen to it. And that's the promise that I'm making to you, the reader. That's the only part of the Rum Diaries that I don't like is at the end when Hunter S. Thompson's Johnny Depp character kind of turns into a bit of a, I don't know, just kind of like a cringy communist. If you haven't seen that movie, you should. It's a wonderful movie. But at the end of the Rum Diaries, Hunter S. Thompson's character just turns into a cringy communist, and the voiceover is narrating whatever it is. Dear reader, I will be the voice for the voiceless. I will the ones who will put this. I will be the one who will put the bastards of this world on check and on display, and I will do it with a pen filled with rage. It's like, hey, Hunter S. Thompson was a great writer, and I think you could kind of probably get away with that kind of cool renegade guy stuff. But the world has since moved on to just a shameless level of self promotion and self what's the word? Fuck me, self curation of everything that we do on this bullshit, all this stuff. So that kind of thing is a little gay. But really, even now, I guess having said that, in a shameless society, somebody could make like a TikTok account as just being like a cringy fight for the little guy, poetic bad boy. Which now that I'm thinking about it, that might not be such a bad idea. About funny little physical bit there, huh? Um, but yeah, so I've been practicing that, and I think it's been very good. I think it's overall helped me just all we have in this world. Really all we have in this world. That saying, who was it? Shakespeare, I think it was something like that. The whole world's a stage. That is, I mean, largely fucking true. If not just completely true. And that it means both a good and a bad thing. It means that people, really cynical people, kind of like myself, are right, not in the nihilistic plane where it's like morals and ethics, even though I guess it does kind of cover those grounds, but just I guess the cynical view that the world is nowhere fucking even remotely close to a meritocracy. And I don't mean that in some lame economic conservative way. I mean just in the way that you'd think about anything, acting, even in art or ideas, that the people who wind up becoming known, increasingly so in this world where broadcasting ourselves is so accessible, the idea that people are deserving of anything is just a laughably stupid and juvenile concept. But that's kind of the beauty of it that I'm realizing that a lot of these like motivational people talk about is once you just crack the code and you turn yourself into this like, and I think I'm at the very beginning stages of it, but if you could just completely empty yourself and then fill yourself slowly but surely with these almost at first surface level skills and tendencies, your ability to win over people in this world and therefore get into positions where you can actually do something meaningful and actually do something that is purposeful. I think that the best and the easiest place to start for myself, even though I'm not bad socially, I'm pretty good at it. The easiest place to start, if you've got no other concrete ideas, is at the very least to just start honing in your public facing personality and persona. And I guess that's weird. I was explaining this to some guy, some pedicab or some fellow. Oh shit. Come on. It better not be cutting out. Some fellow pirate, idiot, asshole, retard. And I've read a couple of the, self improvement type books over the years. And so I got what I got from those books. But one of the interesting things about it is it opens your mind. It's a little shocking at first to hear somebody sterilize the idea of strategizing your own personality. So if you've never been primed for that before, it's a little jarring to think like, am I really just going to am I really just going to look at it like this? Am I really just going to be am I really just going to allow myself to think of myself in this almost scientific compartmentalized way? Yes, that is probably what you should do. I mean, I don't know what the fuck you should do, but if you've got some badass skill and you just love doing that, but if you're trying to kind of hedge your bets in this world, I'm at least having fun with it. I don't know what the fuck you should do. I don't know why I'm starting to get into all this self-help, you know. I'm just saying that's what I've been doing and it's been fucking interesting. God knows what you should be doing. God knows what I should be doing. I'm just trying to get better at talking, baby, you know? Which here we go. Next topic here leads me to my next person, Kamala Harris. Conservatives have been making it before Joe Biden dropped out of the race. Conservatives were like, it's a mockery of this country that this man, this party would prop this corpse up here, not let him drop out of the. In fact, I feel bad for him. I feel bad for this man. He should be at home on his hunting ground, hunting pheasant, cuddling with his grandchildren, showering with his grandchildren, doing whatever the fuck it is that Joe Biden should be doing. He drops out of the race. Now, I don't know that much about the structure of the American government. I'm interested in some things, the minutia and the inner workings of the electoral college and the Congress. I get it. I could probably have a decent discussion, but I don't know it with recall. So I'm not going to argue from that point of view. But either way, he fucking dropped out like they were pretending to virtue signal. You want to talk about virtue signaling? Fucking conservatives were, oh my God. How could they? And then they fucking Kamala Harris. Then all of a sudden you see this bullshit. Oh, vote for it's every political argument now is just a fucking meme. And it was the right, honestly, honest to God, were the ones kind of winning the fucking like, look at these fucking pussies. Everybody's talking about trannies and everybody's talking about bathrooms and all this stuff. Like, why do you even care about that stuff? And they were never cool. They never crossed over anywhere even remotely into like cool or art or anything like that. But they had satisfied enough of the rebel kind of fuck you vote with whoever is susceptible to that kind of thing. But I mean, now it's fucking embarrassing. And I got to say, for as unlikable as Kamala Harris truly was, whenever I kind of watched some clips of it, like when she was primarying, when she was in the primaries in the running and she lost to Joe Biden and she got dunked on by fucking Tulsi Gabbard. She was very unlikable back then. More so than Hillary Clinton. This time around, she's fucking. I mean, do I want to hang out with her? Not really. Does it still seem a little plasticky and a little overdone and a little like she's kind of diving into the I'm just a cool. Now that the gloves are off, I'm now that it's just me versus Trump, I gotta let you know I am just a black woman trying to have a good time with the giggling and all that. But people don't look closely enough. She's being, for all intents and purposes, pretty cool. And Donald Trump is doing infomercials for trading cards of his own face in the middle of his campaign. He looks old. He looks like shit. I've never voted. I'm not going to vote. If I were to vote, I wouldn't. Maybe I should. In Australia and a lot of those other places, it's compulsory, or you get like a fine, like a $60 fine or something. I don't know if we should have something like that or not. I've always taken the opinion that voting is condescending to me just because it's so fucking big and macro and far away. Like when they structured the Constitution, I don't know how many people there were. Let's look it up real fast, shall we? I've got this laptop here for no reason. I might as well look that up. How many people, and when I say people, I don't mean black people or indigenous people, obviously. Just kidding. And obviously, I'm kidding about that. Obviously, I'm fucking kidding. It's a fucking comedy podcast. How many people in the 13 colonies? How many people lived in the 13 colonies? 2.5 million. So that's half of the population of New Zealand now. Maybe all this, the structure and all that stuff, maybe all this stuff would have worked and it would have felt there's 2.5 million people. So the guy from your area who you're voting for, you can kind of just go, you see him at the donut shop or whatever. I'm sure there are people out on the farm, but like you think about how truly accessible different players were in an environment like that with 2.5. I think Austin has like 2.5 million people in it. That was the whole fucking place. So that's always been my thing is that it's a little non-specific and it is a little angsty but really what I'm gonna put a lot of thought into who I'm gonna vote for because that's gonna make my life so much fucking better. Just buy eggs, man. Just figure it out. Just give Cholos rides, get the $25, ignore the death threats. Collect your money, pass go, try a little harder as the days go on in whatever domain that you're doing, or don't, and then try and do it later tomorrow, and it'll all be good. And then go vote for the guy who you think is gonna make everything great. Maybe you are reasonable and you think it doesn't really matter, but you just want to do your civic duty. I was working at a restaurant once, and I told some guy that we need a king, and then he was like, just, that vibe of those real, like, informed 30-year-old civic, like, Democrat kind of people. He was like, sounds like you're a sub, bro. Sounds like you're a sub. You want a king? And that was back. I was being ironic, anyways, but it's like, dude, just shut up, man. Was that guy Czar Nicholas? That guy was pretty fucking cool, dude. That guy looked fucking cool. If we could all get behind some American king who like really represents America, incoming hacky reference to The Rock or to Hulk Hogan or something like that. I'll think of a better reference next week. But until then, I'm about at my time limit. That's all for tonight. Tune in next week. Like and subscribe if you've made it this far. If not, then you're dead to me. Have a good night. Bad News Radio Podcast. Check it out. Oh, fuck. That's kind of derivative of the Rogan thing. Never mind.